that there are students that actually come for their master's degree like with an already planned set dissertation topic. You know, I have my life together, and why there are us, we did not come with the dissertation topic. We don't even know what to expect in the course. We don't even know what's up, what's down. Like, we shall know we're in class. So if you fall under the category that I fall under, stay tuned, because I'm going to be sharing with you how to actually pick out a dissertation topic that you personally love and will enjoy doing. Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Iduma. So I'm currently a master's student at the University of Glasgow, and I'm studying security, intelligence and strategic studies, and I'm currently doing my dissertation, and I just completed my proposal, and I did a video on like my Erasmus experience because I'm an Erasmus student. I won't explain that, but do check out that other video. But some of you wanted to actually know what I'm doing with my dissertation. I said, let me just walk you guys through the process of actually getting a topic, rather than just telling you about, you know, what I'm actually doing for dissertation, what I intend to do, because I just finished my proposal and I'm about to submit it, so it could change, it could not change, but I do know I want to stick with the topic I chose. So like I said in the beginning of the video, there are two kinds of students: the one that already come like to the degree with an already set plan. This is what I want to do, I have my life together, while there are us that were just like, we don't even know what the syllable is all about, we're just gonna roll with the punches. And when you're doing the master's program, like the first semester, they actually like put you through the methodology, already set in your mind you should be thinking about your dissertation. And then you see that this is the first semester, like when in the first week of school, it's too early to be pressuring me. Calm down with the pressure. So in today's video, I wanted to share with you how I was able to choose a topic that I truly love. But as I'm sharing this video, just be a reminder, I just wrote my research proposal, and my research proposal is a document that I submitted. Is actually part of my dissertation grade. The research proposal states my intention to study something, how I'm going to study something, how I'm going to go about studying something. So my proposed research topic for my dissertation is the escalation of the farmer's head as conflict. So in discussing how to pick a topic, I'm going to share it from my personal experience, like how I got to this topic and why I stuck to this topic. So it's based on how I chose this topic. It's a simple topic, there's nothing complicated about it, but then it's my topic and I love it. So I want to just share how I got to this topic that I love. Now, when we did start the master's program, like the first semester, they do teach you research methodology, and right from the onset, the lecturer wants you they want you to already have it in mind that you're going to write 22,000 words, and just thinking about it just gives you anxiety. You're just like, oh my god, what did I get myself into? But then there are students that will just be chill in class, they don't have that anxiety. That's because from their house they already had a topic. But if you're like me, that you just came, no direction, you don't even know what the course is going to open to you, just keep listening to me, because this might actually help you find a topic. There were certain things that interested me, like few issues interested me. The headers conflict interested me, displacement interested me, repatriation is still under displacement, they interested me. What other thing even interested me? Proliferation of weapons too interested me. Like I had few interests, very few interests, and I went into the course open-minded. And for every assignment I wrote, as I wrote each assignment and I was thinking about writing each of my normal essays, I was just like, you know what, any topic that I found really interesting, I would take it down and like potentially look at it for something I would explore. Not necessarily explore the question, just maybe put a case study. I would just make it different from the assignment. Do you get? Let's say they gave me to think about the policy recommendation of Germany and like how their strategic plan is and how it shapes, you know, politics. You know how lecturers will give you assignment with plenty words. So rather than, and I wrote it and I liked it, rather than thinking about the topic like in terms of Germany, I would not be like, how does the strategic plan of maybe Kenya or Tanzania, how does it impact their society and all that? Like pick another case study and really work at it, a case study that I love and look at it and really work with it. So that was like my intention for the research proposal. And not only was I trying to use assignments, I was also going into classes open-mindedly too. Everything I did it open-mindedly because I had no direction, you get. So with that in mind, I would like go into classes, and let's say something a student said that was super interesting or intriguing, like maybe a question the person just posed and the lecturer answered it. I would actually take it down and be like, oh my god, this is quite interesting, like wow. Because I come from Africa, I knew from the get-go, no matter what it was, I was going to write something based on this continent. Like the topic has to be related to this continent. And sometimes the literature we do read, you know, is about the UK, the US, like it's just about the West. So I will sit with it and I'll be like, oh my god, this is actually interesting. I wonder what the literature says about this in relation to my own country. Do you get? Like when we did intelligence and how the intelligence agencies in the UK and the US gathered intelligence, I was really puzzled by it. And I'm like, I wonder how the intelligence agencies in my country do things and work things, and I researched on that. But I didn't go into like intelligence and intelligence failure, although like I truly enjoyed writing that assignment, just because the topic was very new in terms of literature wise. So there was lack of literature, and having done an undergraduate dissertation that literally was novel, it was hard to get material. I obviously knew I wasn't going to pick another dissertation in the master's level that was that novel, that lacked a lot of research, already existing research. Because no matter how you say you want your project to be novel, know that you're going to do literature review, theoretical framework. So if there's no information or data concerning how to do the literature review, it's 22,000 words. You need to get words. There has to be literature out there for you to produce sentences. So you don't want to just go on a whim and say, this is so novel, I'm going to go and change the world with my project. Like, your project is only going to change your grade. Your dissertation ends up only changing your grade. So don't be doing I'm superwoman, I'm gonna change the world. You're not the president, you're just the student of your university. That's how I told myself. So the topic was interesting and I truly enjoyed writing it, and I was super passionate about it, but I knew I wasn't going to do it for dissertation because there was no literature on it, and I struggled with simply doing an assignment that only required 3,000 words. So I knew I'll have a problem with it in terms of 22,000 words. Another way I was trying to like look for the research topic, whenever we entered a class and we maybe spoke about maybe a particular topic, let's say security dilemma, like a theory, I would try to apply the theory to maybe a conflict or a situation or a phenomenon or an event or something that interested me. For instance, now security dilemma, this is how I now came up with the farmer headers thing. The security dilemma assignment was super interesting for me, and in my assignment I related the security dilemma with the farmer headers conflict. It was just a simple theory, but then I was then trying to like open up the complexity of it and saying how the theory itself could not actually explain the situation that's happening in Nigeria in relation with the farmer headers conflict. So with that project, I was already interested in the topic farmer headers conflict from just looking at that theory and applying that theory to the farmer headers conflict in that assignment. But like with reading it, I had now so many ideas. I wanted to look at so many things, but then I hadn't set in stone this was going to be my assignment, like this was going to be my dissertation topic. Then I entered the class. This is why I said be open-minded. Like anything that interests you that the lecturer says, write it down. Like just write it down, it doesn't matter. I was then in the class, and then the teacher, like, was my African development class, and like the teacher was then talking about how the farmer headers conflict in Nigeria has actually produced a lot of carnage, more than that of the Boko Haram. And I was like, bloody how? And in my head I was so puzzled by it, because the Boko Haram is a well-organized terrorist group, and you know, with a lot of, you know, resources and, you know, weapons. So they should be able to produce more fatalities and violence with fatalities than the farmer headers conflict. Then again, I was then thinking about, but the farmer headers conflict is more everywhere. Like the Boko Haram are in the northeast, while farmer headers are in the south and the north central. So it's actually very possible. But at the same time too, for you to produce more dead bodies than the Boko Haram, that means your dead bodies are in millions. And then the farmer headers conflict is not as organized as the terrorist group. So this was just my mind. Forget me talking like this. This was just my mind. And then it was just so puzzling, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do this for an assignment, because we now had an assignment for my data class. So I was like, I'm going to do this for my assignment. And I ended up not doing it because it was just a lot of complex thoughts that were in my mind. And obviously my assignment, I had to do it like in 2 weeks. There's no need to be sitting and having complex thoughts when I had it in my mind. Then when it now came down to the summertime, I had now taken a course within summer on conflict analysis and how to analyze conflict and how to look at the dynamics between conflicts. And then I was like, oh my God, I can actually apply like the conflict analysis techniques into the farmer headers conflict that I'm already interested in. And then I proposed it, like I just wrote it down there for the selection process. Just when they're selecting supervisors, you have to write down the topic you're interested in, and then you mustn't make it elaborate. That's what I found out. Like, just write anything that super interests you and cross your finger they give you a supervisor that has that interest in it. But I wanted to use like the techniques I had learned. So also too, when trying to pick a topic that you really love, when they're teaching people like topics, techniques or theories or stuff like that, really pay attention, because it might not necessarily lead you to your project topic, but then you might be so interested in a technique that you just want to use that technique to apply it to a conflict that is already well researched. But the technique is new, but then the conflict or the situation you're trying to look at is well researched, maybe 9/11, and you want to use another topic, another technique to look at 9/11. So this makes it new, regardless of the fact that 9/11 is well researched. The technique you now bring in now makes it very new. So note, when picking a topic, it must not be very novel. Your work is not to invent the topic. Your work is to find a topic that you can reinvent, and you reinvent it by applying different kind of techniques and different kind of theory to it, to make it different and make it unique to your own way. So because you love that topic and you love that technique, you will never ever come to a place of just being super frustrated. Because bear in mind, I've only done research design and research proposal, but I'm already frustrated. But because I love my topic, I stick to it. I throw my paper, I do my tantrums, yes, but then I'm like, I still love you, I'm still coming back. It's like a toxic relationship you always come back to, just because you have to, not because you have a choice. I already wanted to apply that technique to that other technique, but then the way the conflict analysis technique is, like the one I wanted to use, it's a conflict that is a technique that lets you look at things holistically. And when you're trying to look at it, from the local level, the national level, the international level. You're trying to look at it from every area to understand why that thing is. Why did it occur? How did it occur? When did it occur? Who are the actors? What, you're looking at every question possible. But then the problem of that thing is this: to take me a long time. So when I wanted to pick a topic, I obviously enjoyed the technique, but like I had to pick a technique that would let me answer the question I want to answer within the 6 months given to me for my dissertation. So obviously you're doing a dissertation in 6 months, and it's master's level, so it's 6 months. I cannot go and be picking a technique like ethnographic studies, observation, that is like 2 years, 3 years to do for my research design or for my research dissertation. So I had to bear that in mind. So that was a lot. And my supervisor, when I gave my supervisor, he already told me, this is for PhD level, this is not for the master's level. You can't achieve this in 2 weeks, in 6 months. So I had to he now told me, shave everything down, keep shaving it down. When it came to like shaving it down, there are obviously so many things that interest you and so many things you want to look at. Don't be tempted to pick all those things. In my head, I'm like, I might not pick all these things. I'm just going to pick one cherry from it, look at it for my literature and for my dissertation, and then all those other cherries that interest me, I after my dissertation I can sit down with all those other cherries and write a solid work for journal publication. And obviously journal publications really help you, not just if you're thinking of going into academia, but even looking for a job. By the time you put down there published author, people look at you with a kind of respect, and people look at you like you know what you're doing, even if you're like you don't really know what you're doing. But like, people look at you in a kind of way and in a sort of way. And that's what I actually did for my undergraduate dissertation, because of how novel it was. And my supervisor obviously knew that I wanted to look at so many things, but he told me focus on this, and then you can later on focus on the other things. So fix your eyes on this. It's just a short period of time. Look at it, study it. I'll give you your grade, and then you go back, sit down with those other cherries and publish something into academia. Because of how novel your idea is, we'll put it into a journal for every other person, not just your school, to now enjoy. So now in shaving it down, I had to now think about it in terms of the techniques I will use, because people just pick topics. When you now pick the topic, you now find out that I don't know how to go about this, I don't know how to answer this. So you have to really think about it in terms of technique. Like I was telling my supervisor, like I want to interview people in academia, ask them their perspective. Why do they think this conflict has escalated to this level? And he was like, fine, nice, that's so cool. But also too, my supervisor, that kind of supervisor that doesn't tell you do this, he just tells you if you want to. But he was not telling you to make your work richer. Why don't you consider like talking to international organizations, people in the NGO, talking to the headers themselves, headers association? That now required me to look for those people, because people in academia are like easy to find, in my own opinion, just because, you know, I worked in a research institute previously. You know, my university is there, University of Ibadan is obviously there, my friend is in the University of Ibadan, so I knew how to get academia. But like now putting in all this NGO or civil society, I had to now really look for people. And then I know the society I live in, looking for people, like getting those people to actually sit down with you to interview them would take a long time. So I had to now pick a topic that would give me a method, like a method that was easy to use. I'm not using secondary data and using like quantitative data to like answer my question. It doesn't matter if I love it. If getting to the information is stressful, I'm not going to love it. So that's how I shaved it down. And then it's the information you get that makes your work solid. And in doing undergraduate level, I did interview, and to make my work for the undergraduate level rich, like really rich, I needed to get the opinions of legislative members. But then because it was so hard to get all these big elites to sit down with me and for me to ask them questions about displacement, it was so hard for me to do that. I ended up only interviewing 2 legislative members. So that doesn't really even give my work like the validity it needs, because you're coming to a conclusion. You know, you're saying from what you have found, this is what you're coming up with. And the opinions of 2 people don't make your work concrete. That's how I see it. Like, it's like when you go and do a survey and you only share questionnaires to 2 people. Like, how can people replicate your study? Because the conclusion you come up with, no matter the field you're in, science or art, it should be replicable. Like, people should be able to duplicate it, like your conclusions, like using your techniques, using your methods. Yes, we came out with these conclusions. Although sometimes you look at people's conclusion and you're like, I disagree with this. I don't think it actually would apply in my context, or apply in my country, or apply in my region. But then let me actually find out. And you then apply the person's technique, because we did that in our data analysis class. You then apply the person's technique to another different case study to see if it comes up with the conclusions of that other guy. This, to you and to people around you, people might think this necessarily doesn't make any sense and is not novel in any way. But then the essence of knowledge is to check the validity of it. So now once it gives you a different answer than what that other person did, applying his technique word for word to your own case study and your own context, when it doesn't apply, new knowledge is formed. When it doesn't apply, it reinforces the already existing knowledge. And that is what, to me though, I'm not talking like an expert though, but then that is what your dissertation should do. It should either produce new knowledge or reinforce the old and existing knowledge. So that is how I looked at it. So in now finding my already existing topic that is on escalation of the farmer herders conflict, I'm simply now looking at how I wanted to know how this conflict escalated. Like, everybody has talked about what caused it. Yes, we know what caused it, but after we get to the point that these people are now fighting each other, how come every measure that people try to do to stop this conflict, how come it didn't work? How come the conflict kept on escalating to the point it became so nationalized, so internationalized? Because in 2018 it became so buzzy, like everybody was buzzing about it, people were buzzing about it. Like, what? For after the onset of the conflict, what pushed it to other levels? And why I was able to come up with this, and I'm sticking with this, I read literature and I read, people's work. This is what's causing it. The climate. A lot of things are just relating it to the climate. But then it cannot just be because of climate change, because already in this world we live in, there's already an existing state of a state of scarcity. Like, it's in stone. Like, you can't have everything, and there's always a constant need for something, and there's a lack of the demand of it and the lack of the supply of it. So this is already in law, and then we have managed to live in harmony. Farmers and herders have managed to live in harmony. How come this has reached to this level, the level of producing such amount of violence? So that's what I'm just trying to look at. So guys, I hope all this was able to actually help you in choosing your topic. Just whenever you go for your classes or you're starting a master's degree, go in there open-minded, take notes of the things that interest you. Maybe just have like a book, maybe a book that you always carry around, or a journal you always carry around. Maybe at the back of it, just write down things that maybe somebody said, the question somebody posed in class. Like, your classmates could actually have even been the one that gave you the idea for your topic, and your interests to change and vary with time. So don't set in stone a particular topic, because your interests are ever changing, and you have to be open-minded. And wherever your love or your passion is swaying you to, you have to look at it like, is it actually doable? Is it actually obtainable? Like, am I able to do it in the specific time period? Will I even have the resources to do it? Because people might want to do a technique that will require millions of naira. Like, don't try it. Don't, because of dissertation, like, you break your bank. It's just a master's degree. You're already paying school fees to the school, so I don't get it. You have to look at it in terms of your resources, in terms of your access to information, in terms of even like, if you like it. Don't do a topic that you don't like just because you feel like you have to, or something like that, or is genge. And don't forget, your dissertation is not here to change the world. It's simply to either add to knowledge, existing knowledge, or to create new knowledge. So you're not to invent the wheel, you're just simply to reinvent the wheel. My course convener has been knocking it over and over on my head, and I truly agree. We're not here to make something new, although it's good to make something new, but with the time period of 6 months, we have to be wise in picking the topic. But I overall hope that all this talk was able to help you, and help you in picking a topic that you love. And moving forward, if any of you have any question concerning it, I could make a video like how people asked me. I hope I was able to make sense. If you're trying to choose a project topic, good luck to you. I hope you find the topic that you love, and I hope this sparks your interest. And if you're planning on going for a master's degree, that first week when they're talking about research design and all these things, do not worry, don't be frightened. They're just trying to do it. Just, I don't know, it's like they're just trying to do it because they just have to do it. But like, don't be too worried about it. Be easy on yourself. Go into every class open-minded, and I wish all of you good luck. If you're finding it, or if you found it, good luck. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Don't forget to like, to subscribe, comment down below, share to a friend that is crying over her topic. Maybe my voice will soothe the person. Share will help a sister out, because dissertation is not joke. It's no joke. It's serious business. 22,000 words. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot. But inshallah, we'll finish it. By the grace of God, we will finish it. Everything in all that we do, we pray. we pray and we pray and we pray. Let it be our first response and our last response. So thank you so much for watching. Bye.